East Federal Constituency. I'm standing on under Order 8, Rule 4, matter of urgent public importance, on a motion to caution public officials against being inflammatory and divisive in the countryside. Note that the basic idea of being inflammatory or divisive is any drastic policies, statements, actions, and the like that are capable of provoking aggressive reactions from the members of the general public. Also note that in recent times, we have had governors within the country making different statements in the case of insecurity within the country, especially that of the 13th of February 2021, where the governor of Bauchi State, Bala Mohammed, a public official, who should, based on the insecurity problems in the country, need to have been careful with statements and action, which is reported to have justified the illegal bearing of firearms by some Fulani headsmen, which has caused national outrage. Aware that the Constitution does not grant any individual or group of people the right to bear sophisticated arms, but only a licensed sophisticated shooting range to that effect from the Inspector General of the Nigerian Police. Further aware that even if the IG were to grant license, the IG's power cannot contravene the provision of Chapter F2 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 004 Firearms Act, which classifies the arms AK-47 carried by some headsmen as ascribed by the governor illegal and prohibited. Concerned that the inflammatory and divisive statement will lead to enormous belief that the government supports the crimes of carrying prohibited firearms. Concerned also that this situation can easily lead to armed conflict, as other groups, such as farmers and defenseless citizens, will consider it as a threat to their safety and to arm themselves with AK-47. Concerned further that if all public officials, regardless their positions or status, are not cautioned against inciting or provoking. Concerned further that if all public officials, regardless of their positions or status, are not cautioned against inciting or provoking the general public.
Silence, please. Silence, please.
The already tense situation in the country will lead to open hostilities. The House resolved to caution public officials against such statements and policies that can cause unrest in the country. 2, the House leadership should interface with Nigerian Governors Forum, as most of these inflammatory statements are coming from Nigerian governors, so they should focus on possible solution in addressing insecurity in Nigeria, not blaming one another. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it.
What happened today on the floor is a result of the call from the Speaker and my motion as representatives of the people. It has been worrisome. Worrisome in the sense that what we exhibit on the floor of the House from different various constituencies, from different religious background, ethnic background, and so on and so forth. What we have on the floor of the House with our slogan and joint tax for nation building is not what is represented and replicated outside. Because as representative, we all come and be a united body with a united voice on the floor of the House. And our people are not united as we are in the House. it's a thing of concern. And that's why we unanimously move for that resolution that, look, our governors, whom are the chief security officers in the state, despite the fact that they have challenges in handling the security situations in their various states, their action, comments, and what they say, it's very key in adding to addressing the issue of insecurity in the state. Every state has boundary with another state. If this state that has a boundary with another state has now started saying that it is legal to carry arms against the next state, so which means there will be chaos. Whatever we'll be doing on the floor of the House, it's no longer relevant. So it's very important that the chief security officers, we know they're frustrated. We know that they are so worried, and that's why they are making such comments. But as public officers, there are things that you will say within the inner room, and there are things that you will say outside the room. What you say within the inner room is that you have identified the challenge. How can we, when you now get the solution from the inner room, you come outside and tell people these are the solutions that you have proffered. But the problem from the inner room, and you're taking it outside again, is going to aggravate the problem. And when you look at the Rwanda issue, the Hutus, and it started from comments, just mere comments. And if today we are legalizing and giving fact to the issue that some people are carrying arms because of lack of insecurity, and which means me that my people are farmers will start carrying arms to protect themselves. And so if farmers are now carrying arms in the farm, and the herdsmen are now carrying arms, so definitely we'll start having clashes. So, but the problem and what we really want from governors is that how can we address the issue of this headers clash? How can we identify the issue of identifying the real herdsmen against the illegal herdsmen? So these are two different things, because if there are bad elements, if we have headers that are coming into the country, infiltrating our security architecture and to come and cause havoc among the real genuine herdsmen that we have, that's a problem for us. So how can we identify all those? How can we stop the people that are coming into the country to be able to come into grace? How can we capture them from the border of the country, by creating irrigational ranches for them so that they will not infiltrate and disturb real farmers? So these are issues that we believe that the governors will start putting their heads to proffer a solution, instead of making statements that will hurt other states or religious background, ethnic groups, and so on and so forth. If you look at the first line of the first national anthem that we have, which says, despite our religious background and ethnic background, in brotherhood we stand. When we start looking at being our brother's keepers, when we start respecting customary laws in wheresoever we find ourselves, by so doing, we will really take the brotherhood nature of each and every one of us, respect one another. So to me, if despite our religious background, despite our ethnic background, in brotherhood, we should be able to stand as a united people.